His hair is wool, ayy. His feet is brown.
Man, paycheck gonna be
I ain't going back. I'm committed to my neighbor, even wearing a hood. I gotta watch my step. This world is full of snares and full of traps. And we mobbing just like that. Yeah, we coming just like that. Yeah, my Christ is coming back. Yeah, my Christ is coming back. Got these demons on my back, so we steady praying fast. No more talking, yeah, you know it's time to act. Okay, we the ones that they've been hating undesired.
Come on, wake up the mighty man.
No, wake up the infidel men.
Wake up the mighty man.
Wake up the castrated men.
Wake up the mighty man.
So we come out here to wake up the mighty men of God. But the mighty men of God are too busy getting high right now. The mighty men of God are too busy getting drunk right now. The mighty men of God is too busy cussing us out right now. The mighty men of God is too busy thinking that we're just niggas right now. But we come out here to wake you up.
Yeah, we coming just like that. Yeah, my Christ is coming back. Yeah, my Christ is coming back. Got these demons on my back, so we study praying fast.
Read verse 15 again.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So it was going to come to pass if the Israelites do not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Read.
To observe to do all these commandments and statutes which I command thee this day.
So if the Israelites didn't listen to God to do all the commandments, read.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the curses was going to come upon the Israelites and overtake them. So read the first curse, verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
So how are the Israelites cursed in the city?
Bring it out.
They get shot down in the city. The Israelites are in the lower parts of the city. And how was the Israelites cursed in the field? Like the brother said, they were picking cotton, tobacco, sugar cane, rice plantation, strawberry. What's some more? Tobacco. The Israelites was going to be cursed in the city. Read.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
And cursed shall thou be in the field. Like in slavery time, we was cursed in the field. If you bring it up to today, if you wanted to go to school, they'll ask you what field what field of study do you want to be. Jump to verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people.
So this is how we know that we are the Israelites, because what?
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people.
When did that happen? In slavery.
Bring it out.
Said thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. If you look at this sign right here. Take a look at this sign, sis. Said thy sons and thy daughters should be given unto another people. That happened to us in slavery.
That's right.
And if you bring it up into today's time, police can knock on your door and take your sons away. Take your daughters away.
Bring it out, Doc.
Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them.
Meaning your eyes should look and fail for longer for them. Meaning you will cry. Like they show us these things in movies. 12 years of slavery. Read what you got.
All the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
And it should be no might in our hand, mean power. It wouldn't be no powers. Right. It wouldn't be no power in our hands. Meaning we didn't have any power to get our children back.
That's right.
Verse 37.
Read.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
So the Bible said we was going to become an astonishment. What?
A proverb.
A proverb, a wise saying. If you want to hide anything from a Negro, do what? Put it in a book.
That's right.
Read.
And a byword.
Say what now?
You might repeat that what you just said.
A proverb.
Again.
What you just said, hide anything from
Yeah.
And there shall become an astonishment, a proverb.
So the Bible said they are going to become astonishment. A proverb is what? A wise saying.
Right.
If you want to hide anything from a Negro, you put it where? In a book. Black people love chicken.
They don't like to read.
They don't like to read. They like Kool-Aid.
Right.
Read what you got.
I'm with you now. Thank you.
And a byword.
And a byword. A byword is something outside of your God-given name.
Right.
Bring it out.
Meaning, like your last name. What's your last name, if you don't mind? Wilson. But God called you what?
My maiden name is Peters.
God called you Judah, Benjamin, Levi,
I just realized
Israel. But in slavery, they called us what? Master Wilson, Master Brown, Johnson.
Bring it out.
Reed, is that it on that?
And all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Under all nations. So no matter where you go, you can go to China, you still gonna be a Negro.
Right.
You can go to Africa, you still gonna be a Negro.
Right.
So no matter where you go, these curses are still gonna be upon you.
That's right.
Verse 41.
Read verse 41.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
So when our mothers, our fathers, they gonna what?
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters.
We was gonna beget sons and daughters, meaning we was gonna have children. Read.
But thou shalt not enjoy them.
We're not gonna enjoy them. We're not gonna be able to play with them. We're not gonna be able to watch them grow. Read.
For thou shalt go into captivity.
Because what?
They shall go into captivity.
They are going to go into slavery. They are going to go into captivity, meaning the other nations was going to take our children from us.
Right.
What we're reading the Holy Bible. This is how we know that we are indeed the children of Israel.
That's right.
Read.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high,
Read.
and thou shalt come down very low.
At one point of time, the Israelites was on high. We was ruling the world, but read it again.
The stranger that is within thee,
The strangers that is within thee, the other nations that's among us, read,
shall get above thee very high,
they are going to come above us very high. Read.
and thou shalt come down very low.
That's us at the bottom.
Right.
My feet.
Right. That's us in the ghettos.
Right.
In the slums.
Bring it
Now
out.
we are at the bottom. We're no more ruling the world. We are at the bottom.
Teach out.
Now we are the last hire. The first fire.
Bring it out.
That's us at the bottom. Read.
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
He shall what?
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
So the Bible said that the stranger that is among us, they was going to come above us, but then the next curse was, he shall lend to thee, meaning we got to go to, if we wanted to get a loan, if we wanted to get a couple $100s to pay our bills, we have to go to what? Banks. We have to go to the banks
Right.
to get a loan. He shall lend to us. They gonna lend us money. Read.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
Read verse 45. 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee.
So all these curses are gonna come upon the black people, the Hispanic people. They were gonna do what?
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee.
Meaning, it's no way that these nation of people will hide from the curses. Read.
Until thou be destroyed.
Until we be destroyed, not destroyed physically, but mentally. Now we don't know who we are. Read.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Because we didn't keep the commandments. Read.
to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So these curses was going to be upon the children of Israel for a sign. How do we know that we're at Dickinson Pike? Because the signs, the rolls,
Wow.
And upon thy seed forever.
and upon thy seed forever, upon the children.
That's right.
So these curses are going to be upon our children forever. This is how we know who the Israelites are in the last days. Read.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and gladness of heart,
Because we didn't want to keep the commandments. Read.
for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Therefore, we would serve our enemies because we didn't want to serve God. God said, now, because you don't want to serve me, you're going to serve your enemies. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Which the who?
Which the Lord shall send against
How
thee.
did they know where to come find us at?
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
So God sent our enemies to come get us.
That's right.
But in today's time, we call each other our enemies.
Right.
But the Bible is finna show you who our enemies are. Keep reading, keep reading.
In hunger,
And what?
in hunger,
So we're gonna serve our enemies in what?
in hunger,
So if you wanted to feed yourself, if you wanted food in your mouth, if you wanted to eat, where do you have to go to? Kroger's,
Yeah.
Walmart, what's some more stores? HG Hill, Walgreens, McDonald's, Subway, Taco Bell. If you wanted to feed yourself, you have to go to your enemies. Read.
and in thirst,
And in thirst, if you wanted water, Dasani, Aquafina,
Bring it out.
Pepsi, any soda,
Bring it out, huh?
you have to go to your enemies to get these things. And our people, we don't own these things.
That's
Read.
right.
and in nakedness,
And in nakedness, if you wanted clothes, like the clothes you're wearing, the clothes we're wearing, we don't own the textiles.
Bring it out.
We have to go to our enemies for these things. Who own these things? If you look at the tag on your back, it say what? Made in China. Made in what? Taiwan. Japan. This God said you have to go to your enemies to get these things.
That's right.
So our enemies are not each other.
Right.
The Bible is telling us who our enemies are.
That's
We
right.
have to go to our enemies to get food, water, clothes, and what else? And what else?
and nakedness, and in the want of all things.
In the wants of all things. So no matter what it is, we have to go to our enemies to get these things. So if you wanted to get a driver's license, to drive on stolen ground, on stolen road, you have to go to your enemies to get that driver's license. If you wanted to get the tags, you have to go to your enemies. If you wanted a death certificate, to get buried, you have to go to your enemies. If you wanted some toilet paper to wipe your behind, you have to go to your enemies. Watch who God say our enemy is. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron
And
upon
what?
and he,
And who?
and he
And he. So this letting you know the enemies is a he. Read.
shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And the enemy should do what?
Put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Who did that happen to, sis?
Bring it out. Bring it out, huh?
Who had yokes of irons on their neck, sis? Look at the sign. Look at the sign, sis. The who? Say it in the mic, sis. Say it in the
I'm
mic.
saying the slaves.
The slaves.
That's
Slaves
right.
had the yokes of irons on their neck. But read that again. Read that. And he, and what?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So the question is, who put the yokes of iron on our necks, sis? The who?
The white man.
The white man. The white man. Don't be afraid, sis. But God, if we love God, you gotta look. We gotta read the Bible.
That's right.
We gotta read the Bible. God said this.
That's right.
Read. Is that it on that?
Until he have destroyed
Until
thee.
he have destroyed, until 400 days, of 400 years of slavery, until he have destroyed us and our minds. Is that it on that?
Yes, sir.
Bring it out, huh?
Read verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. In Egypt again. Do you know what Egypt means? Right. The Israelites came out of Egypt under Moses, when Moses split the Red Sea. So God said the Lord should bring thee into Egypt again. So we finna show you the definition of Egypt. Read what you got.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Just like you said, sis, they came, the Israelites came out of Egypt. But read.
Out of the house of bondage.
What did God, yes, God called Egypt the house of bondage. Bondage is another word for what? Slavery, captivity. So when you go back to Deuteronomy, you're gonna better understand what Moses is speaking, what Moses is saying. Read what you got.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So now God is gonna bring you into what? Slavery again, bondage again, because why? They came out, but God said for your disobedience, I'm gonna bring you back into slavery. Read.
With
Into
ship.
slavery, not redemption, but slavery.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
So how did we get over here, sis? Listen, this is what the Bible's saying. Read it from the top. Read it from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With ships. So who is that talking about? It's talking about us.
That's right.
The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. God is saying what? That you are the Israelites. God is saying you are the Israelites. But now and today in America, they're calling us what? Afro-American, Negroes, Spics. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Just like Moses is saying, by the way thereof I spake unto thee.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Meaning you're not going to see your homeland again. You're not going to see your homeland again. You're not going to be able to go back to your homeland. Read.
Right.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
And what?
And there.
And what?
And there.
So once you got off those ships, meaning America, once you got over here in America, you read.
You shall be sold unto your
You
enemies.
should be sold unto who?
Your enemies.
So who did God say our enemy was? Right. Like the brother said, the white man, you can't be afraid. Because why? We're speaking the Bible. God said we are going to be sold unto our enemies. Read.
For bondmen.
For bondmen, meaning slave men.
And bondwomen.
And bondwomen. Our women was in slavery with us.
Right.
Read.
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall what?
Buy you.
No man is going to be able to redeem us out of this captivity.
That's right.
Malcolm X tried it. Martin Luther King tried it. Marcus Garvey.
Bring it out.
They tried to redeem us, but what? God said no man is going to be able to redeem you. Go back to limitation. Limitations 5 and 1.
Bring it out.
Limitations 5 and 1.
Bring it out.
And y'all, I hate to walk away, but I have a buzz.
It's okay, sis.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse 1.
You have a flyer? Did you receive a flyer?
Yes.
On that flyer, we have, if you flip that flyer over, on the flyer, we have our contact information, a website you can log on to show you who we are. We have a school here in Nashville as well. So,
I'm gonna reach out to y'all for real.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All praises. All praises.
I'm gonna reach out to y'all.
All praises.
It's just I have a
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road. Purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.